Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from the brisk autumn air of Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast,
I'm Frank.
and I'm Dan.
Coming up today, we're going to be talking about why TGIA. It's the thing that we were going to do last time, and
We are
didn't get around to it.
rescuing our aborted topic. As you may have heard last week, we diverted from the norm
Yeah.
ever so slightly.
That was not a normal show at all, no.
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 It was just slightly different.
No.
We just had a different angle, I feel.
And so consequently, we announced that we were going to be talking about why we do it.
Yeah.
Why we do
and
TGIA.
then we didn't.
And it's I think it's a good topic and one worth us actually talking about. Why are we here, Dan?
I hope we don't talk ourselves out of continuing to do it.
It's possible.
That'd be pretty funny.
Anything could happen. It's
Ooh, stay tuned to find out if TGIA will continue into the future. But before that, Frank, tell us a story.
Well, I have the story of prayer in America.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Prayer, Americans.
That's that thing where you talk to God and then he makes wonderful things and amazing things happen in your life. Is that it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the trouble. Like, why aren't we doing this?
Yeah.
If it works so well.
It's magic.
Yeah. Why
are we not doing it?
skipping this? So the question really is what do Americans pray for?
Oh, yeah.
So of course, thank goodness there's people out there who want to know,
Who are doing the work.
Yeah, there's the people, those good folk over at the Lifeway, Research Center. They did a poll of Americans, and turns out that people, let's see, what is it? They pray for themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay. You pray for yourself. You pray for your needs, and you pray for where was the one that I really loved? Apparently, you pray for good parking.
Okay. Good. Excellent.
You pray for people of other faiths or no faith.
Oh.
20% of Americans pray for people of other faiths.
They pray. Oh, Frank, we don't have
no
to pray.
faith. Yeah.
Somebody's doing it for us.
No, they're not doing it for us. They're praying for our souls.
Yeah.
That we might find Jesus.
Well, there you
But
go.
anyways.
I mean, that's praying for us.
Yeah.
They're doing all of our praying for us. We don't have to do any of it.
Apparently, about 5% of Americans pray for someone to get fired or for someone's relationship to end.
Oh, my God.
Which, I mean, I don't know to what end. Like,
no, it goes
because
like this.
they want that person freed up.
Right. It goes like this. Dear Heavenly Father, please help her to see that I would be a better partner for her.
Mm-hmm.
Please help her to see that he is not treating her well and that I am smarter and kinder than he is. And even though he makes more money than I do and he's much handsomer than I am, he is still not the right person for her. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Yeah. 5% also pray for someone else to fail.
They're meddling in the dark arts with this stuff. I don't know about that shit, man. That's some negative stuff.
When asked, have you ever prayed for? Okay, so in general, let's paint the picture that is really out there. 82% typically pray for family or friends.
Sure.
74% for their own problems or difficulties.
Okay.
42% for their own sin.
Yeah.
Right. 38% for people in natural disasters. So, I mean, okay, whatever. Okay, that's what people typically are praying for.
38%? That's all that natural disasters get?
Yeah, it's those people over there.
Yeah, I guess. Jesus Christ.
The government will take care of them.
Well, the other thing is that God's the one that created the natural disaster in the first place.
So you're kind of like this, like...
Clearly he wanted it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you really going to pray for those
Yeah,
people?
exactly.
Hey, God, you know that awful thing you did to those people down in Louisiana? Could you help them out now that
Dear
after you did that
God,
horrible thing?
I know
Doesn't
that
make
you
any
meant
sense.
to kill all those people, so I'm just going to leave you to it. Thanks.
Keep up the good work.
Bye. I can tell you what Mormons are praying for.
What?
They are praying to thank thee for this day and thank thee for the prophet. And please bless this food that it will nourish and strengthen our bodies. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Yeah, that's true.
Mormons have like one set prayer in their entire canon, except that every prayer that they pray sounds exactly the same. So they might as well all be set prayers.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And then when asked these about these things, these are have you ever prayed for?
Okay.
41% say that they have prayed for someone who mistreated them.
Oh,
which is
that's
Jesus's admonition to pray for your enemies and those who've done you wrong.
Now, mind you, those prayers, that sounds nice, but those prayers could sound like, please smite them with your mighty armor.
You are a cynical son of a bitch today.
Believe me. Those prayers are happening, my friend.
Winning the lottery came in at 21%.
Okay.
21% of Americans have at one point prayed to win the lottery.
Not in Utah, they haven't.
20% have prayed for success in something that they put almost no effort in. 15%, no one to find out about a bad thing you've done.
Oh my God.
Please don't let them find out.
Oh my
that I did
God.
that awful thing,
Yeah.
please.
I wonder what the number one bad thing that you've done that people don't want others to find out about is.
I don't know.
Because it's not like it's murder.
Who knows? Maybe it is.
Well, in some cases.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that in most cases it's something.
We've worked this out, Lord.
Yeah.
I know I killed him. That's wrong, but we've worked it out. I feel like you still love me.
Yeah,
Please don't let the cops find me.
I repented. You know I repented in my heart.
14% have prayed for God to avenge someone who hurt them or a loved one.
See, I told you.
13% have prayed for their favorite team to win a game.
Well, obviously.
9% have prayed for bad things to happen to a bad person. 7% have prayed to find a good parking spot.
I'll tell you what, the bad things happening to bad people thing, that's got to be one of the most frustrating things about being a believer. Because as an atheist, I see good things happening to bad people and bad things happening to good people all the time. And I just go, that's the way that this crazy fucked up world works.
Right.
But they have this whole, like, no, it's all supposed to work out. And God's there to punish the bad and to lift up the good. And it just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7% have prayed to not get a speeding ticket.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
And this one's amazing. This is where we'll end it. 5% have prayed for success in something that they knew wouldn't please God.
Yes. Oh God, please let me fuck her.
I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong.
Look, I know you've got rules.
One favor.
I know you've got rules against this, but oh my God, you made her that way for a reason. Come on. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Prayer is fucked up.
Yeah, I mean,
when it's this kind of prayer.
I've always said
this
that
is not meditation. This is not.
It's intercessionary prayer. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It is complete. It is a logical fallacy to believe in an omnipotent God who has a plan for everything,
right? And
then to pray for him to change that plan,
right? Yeah,
that is a logical fallacy. And every time I point that out to a believer, they go, "Oh yeah," and I go, "So are you going to stop praying?" Well, no.
Because the Lord asked me to pray,
right? And I don't begrudge them like praying like just as a meditative sort of thing or as a connective. You know, I need to connect with God, so God, thanks for everything. You know,
right?
Whatever.
Thank you
is okay, but God, please intercede in this thing. No,
please.
That it
not
doesn't.
So good.
It's not going to work.
Thank you, good.
Please not good. Right? Yeah,
Yep.
but they don't ever stop.
Bless this food.
Sure.
Nope.
No. Why? He's already either going to.
Your mother, who is a terrible cook, made it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get sick, that's on her. That's not God.
No.
He can't save you from her cooking.
Well, he can, but he won't. How do we know? Because people get botulism all the time from stuff that they've prayed over. You know, everybody should be an atheist if they just sat and thought about it for like 15 minutes. Like, wait a minute. We can't be sick. We prayed over this food.
Yeah. What good has it ever done us?
How? I have diarrhea. I prayed over this food.
Yeah.
I should be totally fine. My entire trip to Asia, I shouldn't have to get a single shot because I prayed over all of it.
Yeah.
I prayed every day. I prayed over every meal.
A little prayer bubble, yellow fever, whatever it is. Keep it away. Keep it away.
It's like a prayer force field.
Yeah.
You can't do anything to me. I've been praying like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to move us to Arkansas, specifically Arkansas State University, where there's been a bit of a kerfuffle. The football team of Arkansas State University had a bit of a tragedy. Apparently, there was an accident, a car accident, in which they lost. Oh wait, yeah, there was a car crash in which they lost one player.
Oh no!
He was killed in June.
Oh,
and another I guess he wasn't a player. The guy in the car crash was an equipment manager. A player was actually gunned down in Tennessee in January.
Oh, not related to the automobile accident.
No, they're two different incidents, but they both affected this team.
Okay.
So the team decided to put a tribute to these two men on their helmets in the form of a cross with their initials on it.
Okay.
No, not okay. This is a state school. So now here's the thing. I'm of two minds on this one.
Okay.
But the word came down from above from the university's athletic director said that he was 100% behind the placement of the crosses and everything. The legal department, the university's legal counsel said, you have to take those off.
Oh no.
She said, while we could argue that the cross with the initials of the fallen student and trainer was merely memorialize their passing, the symbol that we have authorized to convey that message is a Christian cross.
Oh boy.
So she said, either you have to take them off or you have to convert the cross, just modify it slightly so that it looks like a plus sign.
Well, but isn't that
cross.
the Greek cross? Is a plus sign? Which
no,
one? There's
the Greek cross has like the two things, I think.
Oh.
The two crossbars.
Yeah, okay. There's one though that I thought that is basically just a plus sign.
Yeah, I don't know. But at very least a plus sign could be argued to not be religious.
You could argue that.
Whereas there's
That's
no
about math.
There's no way
They were both amazing mathematicians.
They were. You should have seen how they calculated their plays and whatnot. So yeah, I mean the thing is that this is a clear violation of the constitutional protections of church and state separation.
Absolutely. All right, cool.
So they did that. Now
and then what? Has there been backlash?
Well, obviously. I mean, like, the whole world is flipping out, and all the Christians are. This is how the Christians justify how persecuted they are, sort of thing.
They are.
So
I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I can't wait for the day when they actually are
persecuted
in this country. But I don't.
No, we don't want them persecuted. We just want them to stop.
We just want them to go away.
Just shoo.
We want them to be, yeah.
Yeah. The FUFRF, of course, was involved in this whole thing. I think they sent a letter.
Of course they were.
Of course. I mean,
Damn.
they're doing good work. The truth is
they are
that
on it. They are on it. That's the amazing thing. You can't put a cross on a helmet in Missouri, was it?
in Arkansas.
And FERF doesn't notice.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
They got their feelers out.
Wow.
I support them. I just, this kind of thing, I feel bad because while it's correct that they shouldn't be putting crosses on their helmets, I get it.
But see, the next
Their
time...
friends die.
Yeah, but next time there'll be a coach and a bunch of people who know that, hey, we don't do that.
Right.
And it's bullshit. They can even say it's bullshit. I don't care. But we don't do that because we'll get in trouble.
They shouldn't even say that. Because
But they shouldn't say that.
What
But
they
I'm saying for a generation, they will say that.
Right. But what I'm saying is, what they should be saying is, hey, I see that you guys want to memorialize your buddies. That's great. Let's just put their initials on your helmets.
Yeah.
Done.
Circles.
Put a black armband on your arm.
Yeah.
Done.
Stars. They could do little stars even.
6-pointed stars of David.
No, they were superstars.
I think stars might mean something else.
Really?
Well, it turns into the Dallas Cowboys all of a sudden.
Oh. I don't know anything about that shit, so I don't know.
Anyway.
All right.
So there you go. Well, they're the guardians of church and state separation, still in play.
Yeah, well, and my next story is actually about those same guardians of church-state separation, who wanted to run an ad, a television ad on CBS, featuring Ron Reagan.
Oh, right, yes,
and CBS said no.
Oh.
They initially, FERF wanted to run it during 60 Minutes, and CBS said no. And they were like, well, can we air it at any old time of the day on anything? And they're like, no.
What?
And so the statement from the FERF says... It appears that if a public figure makes a simple declarative statement in support of church-state separation, FERF and atheism, it's too hot to handle for CBS, said FERF co-president Annie Laurie Gaylor. It seems that excess gas, erectile dysfunction, and other intimate bodily functions, not to mention ads wherein political candidates viciously attack each other, are acceptable. But the plain-spoken, witty, slightly irreverent remarks of a well-known figure identifying as atheist are too much for the delicate sensibilities of CBS's censors.
Now, is this the same video that he put out?
I can play it right now.
Well, okay.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Ron Reagan, an unabashed atheist, and I'm alarmed by the intrusions of religion into our secular government. That's why I'm asking you to support the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest and most effective association of atheists and agnostics, working to keep state and church separate, just like our founding fathers intended. Please support the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Ron Reagan, lifelong atheist, not afraid of burning in hell.
Well, there you go.
There you have it. He said hell.
He said hell. And I'm pretty sure CBS doesn't allow that.
No.
Nothing.
You cannot say hell.
And considering the high quality of their programming in general.
And you can't use the word Reagan and atheist in the same sentence.
And half the name Ronald.
Right, exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah.
People might find out.
Yeah.
And then it besmirches the legacy of the most beloved of all of the anyone's ever. On the right.
Yeah. So, but what's interesting is, of course, that this ad has aired on Comedy Central, which is owned by Viacom.
Yeah.
If I remember everything correctly, they're all owned by the same people. I don't know if they're still called Viacom. That might be a throwback.
No, I think you're right.
But
I don't know.
But Comedy Central and CBS are, part of the same corporate family.
Right.
And so they got away with it on CBS, but not on the old, not on
or no, they got
CBS?
away. Yeah.
Or they got away with it on Comedy Central, but not on CBS. But
I'm pretty sure, by the way, the parent company of every corporation in America, eventually, if you track it back far enough, is Kraft Foods. I'm like 90% sure that they're all owned by Kraft.
I don't think that's true.
I think you haven't dug deep enough.
I haven't gone far enough back.
You haven't gone down the rabbit hole far enough.
Yeah. Well, could be. I mean, it is possible. They do need to sell some macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, exactly. So it's natural to buy all of the television stations that exist. Anyway,
at least one of them is Procter and Gamble.
Well,
because they need to sell some soap.
That's true. And also, but I think Procter and Gamble is also owned by Kraft Foods.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
They're all owned by Kraft Foods.
Oh, wow, they're huge, bigger than I thought.
Yeah,
actually, I knew they were big, but that's impressive.
All right, I'm going to move on to Oklahoma, your old stomping grounds. You might not cheer quite as loudly. This is more Oklahoma. We remember more from last year's last year ish. They're big. They had a big tornado there, didn't
they? It's a safe bet.
Yeah, they did. I remember that. Anyway, so here we are in Moore, Oklahoma, and there's been a tragedy. I don't know if you read about this. A lot of people probably have seen something about this. A rather deranged man, going by the name of Nolan. What's his name? Alton Alexander Nolan.
Okay.
30-year-old man who was recently laid off from a job at a food processing plant.
Okay.
Apparently went stomping back in and with a knife murdered two of his former coworkers, people he apparently didn't actually work directly with.
With a knife?
With a knife.
Holy crap.
Beheading one of them.
Holy crap.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Yes. He killed and beheaded one of his coworkers. I don't think you can't behead that many people with a knife before you get caught. I don't think you can get through too many beheadings. So he only got the head off of one of them, but
oh my God.
911 was called. He was eventually stopped, I think, by a vice president of the company who was also a former police officer.
Oh my God.
He was shot. He is alive and recovering.
Okay.
Having
Why
been
are you
shot.
telling us this horrid story?
Well, here's the deal. One aspect of the story is that the man is Muslim and had been trying to convince fellow coworkers to convert to Islam. Now, this has raised red flags for a lot of news outlets have been going terrorist, but apparently there are no terrorist connections, and I buy that completely. This does not strike me as a directed terrorist attack. This is clearly the work of a deranged man
with a knife.
But here's what the reason that I thought this was worth bringing up is because I was made aware of this from some online forum, and people were debating back and forth. Is this religious? Is this religiously motivated? Was it religious in nature, or was it just the work of a lunatic, or blah blah blah?
Right.
And it was a really interesting discussion. What I've come to is, I don't think that religion is responsible for this attack.
Okay.
However, I don't think it would. I think religion, especially, I mean, not any religion can really do this, but Islam is in a particular place in history where it's particularly good at creating a framework wherein heinous acts like this can be religiously justified.
Okay.
Especially by a mind that is not quite firing on all its cylinders.
Right.
So what I'm getting at is that I don't think we can lay the responsibility of this act on religion, but we can say that I think it's pretty easy to say that religion itself, religion creates a place in a person's mind where murder is acceptable, or where attacking people like this can be okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like you and I, if we were raising children,
I think we've mentioned, we've kind of talked about that kind of stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's I don't think it has to be pinned so quickly and so easily on religion.
Right.
Because they're, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's what you're saying.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is that right now we have several other examples of beheadings, of recent beheadings.
Uh-huh.
They're all at the hands of Muslims.
Right.
At this moment in history.
Right.
And it becomes this alarming sort of like, what the fuck is happening in Islam?
Well, I mean,
but they're not happening in the U.S.
Sure, no.
But
I mean,
it's still like this.
It's clearly a strange thing to happen in the United States, and it's shocking, and it's a very different set of circumstances too.
It is.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I can't. I'm really the horror of it is it's pretty shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know that we've been desensitized to the whole shooting thing. Right.
Yeah. Somewhat.
You know, to a certain extent, that like if he'd gone into that, you know, to his old place of employment and had shot it up, killing a couple people,
right?
We would all go, oh wow, oh yeah, and they might pin it onto a Muslim, you know, the whole Islam thing. They could still do all that stuff, but the attention that you know, stabbing people to death and cutting off someone's head, that gets.
Yeah.
I mean, because my ears perk up and I go, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is insanity.
Yeah. Is
that a thing in Islam? Is beheading a thing? Like, I don't...
You know, I haven't read the Quran, so I wouldn't... I don't...
Now, it really does raise the question of why are they beheading these guys on the captured journalists and whatnot?
Right.
You know?
It occurs to me that it must be there somewhere.
Must be a thing.
It must be a thing.
I mean, there's always like a sword. Whenever you do like a Knights of Arabia type thing, there's always like a sword.
Yeah.
Along with a horse and a, you know,
yeah,
funky dome and a minaret. You know?
Yeah, I think there's got to be something to it.
Huh.
I don't know.
Interesting.
We can't really talk intelligently about that, though, because
we
haven't read the book.
I will say this.
Yeah?
That your story might explain my story.
Okay.
This is completely unplanned. This is legit. I'm just going to read the headline.
Okay.
Arkansas shooting range declares itself a Muslim-free zone.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think they're going to be able to get away with that.
In her announcement that she would no longer be allowing Muslims to shoot in her shooting establishment.
Uh-huh.
The owner of the shooting range, Jan Morgan, says, "This is not a coffee and donut shop. This is a live fire indoor shooting range. People come here to buy, rent, and shoot lethal weapons. In the range, people are shooting guns in close proximity to each other. So my patrons depend on me and my discretion regarding who I allow to shoot beside them."
Oh.
A totally different light than I thought this whole thing was going to go. I actually, just because we didn't plan this, I don't know if this happened after your beheading or not. But boy, it definitely makes it read differently.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. I think obviously there are some legal issues.
She can't. Yeah,
with doing this,
she can't.
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to say that, you know, someone of a certain religion
a business that's open to the public. You can't discriminate based on.
Yeah, next they're not going to be allowing all those gays that want to go shooting.
I love shooting.
No, it does bring up some interesting things, though. I mean, I think our U.S. gun culture needs to be challenged pretty strongly, and it's a very difficult thing to challenge.
Yeah. And
the problem is that all of the ideas, I come up with clever ideas all the time. As you know, I'm a very clever man. And one of the clever ideas that the problem is that the clever ideas that I keep thinking of for challenging the U.S. gun culture are ideas not dissimilar in my mind to the Satanic Temple people challenging, people's ideas of, putting Christianity into schools by putting Satanism into schools, or, challenging the idea of putting the Ten Commandments at the courthouse by putting Satan at the courthouse. What it does is it shows the hypocrisy of one side. You know, how they only want the rights for themselves, not for everybody else.
Right.
So my thought about gun culture is, we'll just show how hypocritical they are, because if black men were open carrying all over the U.S., or if Muslim men were open carrying all over the U.S., it would make everybody freak the hell out.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea, except they'll get fucking shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can't do it. A black man could not open carry in the United States because he would just get killed.
Yeah.
By the people that are supposed to be protecting us.
Yeah.
By the cops. So much for my cleverness.
Yeah, it's not clever. It's actually a really bad idea.
It's a terrible, terrible idea. And if there are any African American men listening to this, please don't carry any guns or anything that looks like guns, because apparently
I'm pretty sure they already know that, Dan.
Yeah. Well, just don't get any clever ideas. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's tricky. It's dicey. I don't know how you counteract it. At this point.
Yeah.
Considering that gun owners believe that they have God-given rights to their guns. So
don't they ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, she does go on and she blamed the owner of this gun range. She goes on and blames Islam's merging of political, legal, and religious ideologies into sort of this idea of the Nation of Islam, and that we should not be. The U.S. Constitution does not protect a theocracy.
Oh.
Well,
yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go.
So take that for whatever it's worth.
Right, indeed. So, moving right along, I just wanted... I was made aware this week of a thing that I had no idea this existed.
Okay.
Call it a social experiment. Call it a I don't know what to call it. The founder of Domino's Pizza.
Okay.
One Tom Monahan. Did you know that he tried to create a theocratic little city in Florida?
Wait, what? No. What?
He a devout Roman Catholic, and activist, decided that he was going to try to build a small city called Ave Maria, Florida.
Oh, that's cute.
You and I missed an opportunity when we were in the South. We needed to go to this. We may have to go there now.
Yeah.
It is the idea was, so basically, somehow the story is that this sort of company that he was set up, this was going to start a community in Florida. They submitted a charter to then to Jeb Bush. Is he still governor of Florida? I don't think he is. I don't know. Anyway, who gave them a charter to start this community in the middle of nowhere. And in it he put he put this big grand cathedral sort of it's now called a quasi parish. It's the Ave Maria Oratory, and it's actually quite lovely. It's not actually a Catholic parish because it's owned privately. But it's really actually, the architecture is quite lovely, you know.
Oh, okay.
And he put a Ave Maria University he was starting. But the whole idea, hidden behind all of this, like just sort of boring sort of city planning stuff and all of this, was to create a city where where they had control over everything. No one could sell porn. No one could sell liquor. No one could do... I mean, basically, it was to create, well, Provo.
Yeah,
but not really.
That already exists.
But worse. Like, this was going to be, like, the Catholic Shangri-La.
Oh.
Where no one, no spitting and no swearing. Everybody was going to be good and Catholic.
Oh, that's going to hold up. That'll work.
Yeah, it's kind of failed, unfortunately.
How? Is it just crime-ridden?
No, nobody's there.
Nobody wanted to go be Catholic in some Catholic haven?
It's kind of I can't figure out
find that hard to
exactly what
believe.
happened, but all of this was started in what was it? Founded in 2005, and it's still just sitting there. But a lot of buildings have been built, a lot of stuff's been, but it's kind of like this Catholic ghost town.
Utopian efforts rarely work.
Oh no, they don't work. But man, that's interesting. I really kind of do want to go there at some point.
Huh.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Like where or nowhere?
Let me pull up the old Google Maps. It's down in the south,
Okay.
near Naples, Florida,
Oh.
which is sort of directly across Florida from Fort Lauderdale.
Lovely place.
So on the sort of it's just in the middle of nothing.
Huh.
Not too far from the Everglades.
I'm surprised it didn't work.
I just really want to go. Anyway, it's fascinating.
Huh.
It's but yeah, so as you eat your pizza, make sure you say your Hail Marys over it. Hail pizza full of cheese.
Hopefully, and support a little town.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if we all eat enough pizza,
a portion of the proceeds of this pizza go to building a Catholic town in Florida.
Go to building the creepiest city of them all.
All right. Well, if you'd like to chime in on anything that you've heard today, you can do so. Our email address is podcast@thankgodimatheist.com. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
It is indeed. If you want us to actually hear what you have to say, instead of reading it, you can send us a voicemail. You do that by calling 424-666-8442, which is TGIA.
And, of course, there is the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and the Twitter feed @TGIAtheist as well.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. This is a Christian broadcaster of some sort.
Yeah, what's
Who
his
is he?
name? I forget his name.
Who is this
I had it
horrible
pulled up,
person?
but then I gave it to you, and now you have it pulled up. But
Wiles.
Wiles.
Rick Wiles.
It's a good porn name too.
Nice. Ooh, hey,
Hey,
Rick
I'm
Wiles.
Rick Wiles.
And I've got something to say about Ebola.
This Ebola epidemic could become a global pandemic, and that's another name for plague. It may be the great attitude adjustment that I believe is coming. Ebola could solve America's problems with atheism, homosexuality, sexual promiscuity, pornography, and abortion. If Ebola becomes a global plague, you better make sure the blood of Jesus is upon you. You better make sure you've been marked by the angels so that you're protected by God. If not, you may be a candidate to meet the Grim Reaper.
Ooh. Now wait. If you're marked by the angels, is that the same as being marked by like a Doberman?
Yeah, they just come and lift their leg.
They just pee on you.
Yeah, lift their wing on you.
Or yeah, exactly. They hover over you as they're singing in their choir, and then you're marked by the angels.
Well, a little known fact about angels is they don't have sphincters.
Oh,
They're anal sphincters.
It just comes straight
They're
out,
just like birds.
yeah. Well, they have the wings.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they would have the rest. It's like a bird. Oh boy. Well, I mean, hey, Ebola, it's going to cure the country of all of us, essentially.
Yeah, the apparently atheist gay people, and according to the sluts, did he actually say sluts?
He said promiscuity. He said porn and yeah. So yeah, you and I are both going, but you'll get it first because you're more of those things than I am, because I'm not gay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
We'll all get it. You'll just die first.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. This.
Because Lord knows there's never been a Christian that's been affected by Ebola.
Yeah.
the good Christians, the ones who are, bathed in the blood of Christ or whatever, those guys have all come out just perfectly safe.
Impermeable.
Yeah.
No, it just can't get through.
It cannot.
It's that prayer bubble.
It's
again.
that prayer bubble again.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that little virus can't get through that.
I will say this: I'm not worried about Ebola.
Oh no,
but I am really surprised it's gotten as far as it has.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of am. That it has continued to be a problem in West Africa.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it just seems like for a virus that, is difficult to contract.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing how far it's gotten.
Yeah, I think for me the problem is and the reason why I'm not afraid of
it's
it.
the little virus that could.
It is so what a go-getter that virus is. For me, the reason that I'm not afraid of it, like, the conservative news networks have been making such a big deal out of this case that came to Texas or whatever.
Yeah.
And you better watch out because it's going to be an epidemic, a pandemic, a plague. But it's not, because we in the United States of America aren't afraid and distrustful of medical facilities. And we're not, we have enough doctors to go around. And all of the things that are problems in Africa
Right.
are not problems here.
No, yeah.
So,
yeah. But a few people are going to get sick.
Yeah. A couple
people are going to get sick before it's all shut down.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. But yeah, it's easy. I mean, if you have Ebola, by the way, our listeners,
dear listeners,
if you contract the Ebola virus, please go to a hospital
immediately,
right away.
I trust our listeners to go.
Yes, they're all very, very, very
intelligent,
smart.
Not fearful of medicine.
Right. Although some of our friends would probably try a cleanse first.
Some of our friends,
some of our friends would probably
I know people who would drink a ton of kombucha first.
God damn it.
And just be like, okay.
I'm pretty sure that this, in combination with my acupuncture, is totally going to get rid of it. I don't trust Western medicine.
No. I need a acupuncture, some massage.
Right.
You're going to massage it out of me.
Reiki.
You need some Reiki healing.
Yeah.
Some energy healing, right?
Yeah.
Don't they put their hands, hover their hands?
They hover their hands over you. It's not, massages are so 10 years ago. Now it's massaging without getting touched. It's Reiki.
Actually what it is, it's, and this is a dear, dear, dear friend, and I'm not making fun of him at all for this, but he, it's amazing though. He goes to a massage therapist.
Okay. Meaning he's getting a therapy,
There's a therapy session.
Doing cognitive therapy or talk therapy while he's getting massaged.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard or the most brilliant thing I've ever heard.
Right? That's the thing. Easy to kind of laugh at. But then at the same time, you're like, well, wait a second.
Hang on.
But that definitely goes into that whole...
It changes the dynamic a lot. I'll say that. It changes everything
Now, I will add this detail.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't think that this is a licensed therapist.
Oh, well, that's a problem. and I would imagine
I think it's
that
more
it's
of a
not.
Healer type of some sort.
I would imagine not, because I think that
but
probably
it's still this person, buys into that sort of stuff that we would dismiss as just being way too woo-woo.
Oh, okay.
And so, but it works for him.
Yeah.
He's seeking out help, and this is where he's finding it. I've heard some of the advice that was given.
Yeah, if
you're getting a massage, she's giving you some advice, go for it.
You know what I've just come up with?
What?
Not massage therapy, just regular therapy, but with a happy ending. What about that?
Jesus Christ. All right, get over here.
Yeah. Okay, our session's done. Please drop your pants. All right. We are going to quickly move on now to some emails and voicemails.
We want to first play at least the first one that we want to play is from Mackenzie.
Our dearly beloved Mackenzie.
Yeah. And so here we go.
Hello, Franklin and Daniel. It's Mackenzie. I just wanted to call and say congratulations on making the big 150 episode. I just want to thank you guys for being great examples in the atheist community, providing us with great discussions and some really great laughter. You guys make my day on a weekly basis, and I'm glad that I can now be a part of TGIA, and I would like to also thank the TGIA community for their input and sense of community. You guys are a great group, and we hope to see this go to another 150 more. So cheers. Have a great day, guys.
Well, that's wonderful.
Thanks, Mac.
Now, I need to apologize to Mackenzie.
We need to.
Yes, because, dear listener, you probably didn't buy into the hoax of last week that we hadn't arranged.
You're giving it away. You're giving it away.
That we had not arranged to call those people. They didn't know exactly what was going on.
They didn't know, but
they knew to be on standby for a phone
some
call.
of them. We tried to like send out a text that was just like, "Hey, if you get a call from a number you don't understand, answer it."
Right. Well, Mackenzie couldn't. It just didn't work with her schedule for when we were doing it. And so I said, well, hey, why don't you send us a voicemail and we'll play it on the show?
Yeah.
And she did, and we didn't, and that's all on me. So
yeah.
I'm sorry, Mackenzie. But we played it now.
Yeah. It was a ruse, people. It was all a ruse.
What was not a ruse was how drunk we were.
That was definitely not a ruse.
And so forgetting an important detail, that just is par for the course.
Yeah, I think that's pretty...
and then we have some more well wishes. This one from a longtime listener.
Hey, Frank and Dan and Frank, it is totally sober pony. Yes, I wanted to congratulate you gentlemen on surviving your 150th episode without, needing a liver transplant or anything. I will admit I had a great time, and I can't blame you guys for anything. Even though I was out running deliveries in the company van and almost drove off the road, 4 times. I actually held it together, fortunately. So congratulations. I'm a little upset you didn't call me, but, that's okay. I can understand you were drunk. You didn't exactly figure out that you should do that, but that's all right. Meantime, congratulations, seriously, and my hopes for you guys for another 150 and then some years, in this case, not episodes. Take care of yourselves, and of course, happy birthday. God save the Queen. Till next time.
Oh, Sparkle Darkle.
Thanks, Pony. We appreciate that. And you're right. It was a horrible oversight on our part not to have called you.
Sorry.
But that's okay, because you sound drunk every time you call us. So that's kidding. I'm just joking.
And then I just want to play this one.
Okay.
It's all for me, but I want it.
Okay.
I'm going to play it.
Just wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday. And I actually made it through the drunk podcast, and you kept me smiling all the way to work. And rest assured, I won't withdraw my meager support. You guys did a great job. This is Janet. Bye.
Oh, thanks, Janet.
Thanks, Janet. Yeah, it was your birthday last week.
It was.
Did you have a happy birthday?
I did have a happy birthday.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, went bowling. Got some burgers.
Sure.
And drank some beer.
And drink more.
Continue to drink.
Because what you and I needed that day was more alcohol.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was fun. We got a lot of feedback on last week's episode.
We did.
It was a first for us to be drunk on the show.
Be drunk, yeah. Absolutely.
We have had some champagne, but that doesn't do much. Anyway,
make us drunk. Not like this stuff did.
No. So I'll read a couple of things. We had a couple of people write to us, and then and they're also new donors. So I'm just going to thank them and read their stuff. Not a bad idea to donate to us if you want to get your email on the show. Just kidding. I'm not actually making that guarantee at all, nor am I requiring it of anyone. So please all just know that. Hi, Frank and Dan. I'm listening to your podcast, Can of Worms. You know what? This one's not about I switched them. I'm sorry. I'm actually going to read Megan's first, and then I'll get back to Chris's.
Okay.
So Megan says, Frank and Dan, I'm glad you let go and allowed us to see a different side of you. I found your drunk episode delightfully entertaining and fun. With respect and gratitude, Megan. Thanks, Megan. We had a lot of people write in. Most of you were pretty happy with us drunk. I don't know why, but there you go. I'm glad. We had one guy write in, and the entirety of his message, can I find him in time? The entirety of his message was just, more wife, less gin. I thought that was pretty funny, because Andrea, my wife, was on the show for briefly. People like her, too.
Yeah.
We should have her on a couple times. Every so often. Anyway, Chris also wrote to us and said, this is a different Chris. I got two Chris's here. So I'm going to read the Chris that's related to this topic, and then we'll move on to the other Chris, who's the actual donor.
Okay.
Chris said, Frank and Dan, I'm just finishing up episode 150, and you guys are hilarious. I started listening at the gym, but decided I should come home and share a virtual drink with you. I don't want to give potentially bad health advice, but I think it would be okay if you did this more often. In moderation, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, and thanks for producing such a consistently entertaining and unexpectedly informative show.
Huh.
Well, I think you should expect to be informed, Chris. That's kind of what we do. Anyway, thanks for that. We had a lot of other people write in. If we didn't get to your email about it, just know that, all right, we get it. You like us drunk.
Yeah.
We'll do it again someday.
Someday.
Maybe
It can't be a regular thing.
No, but maybe at number 200. You guys might have to wait a year.
Yeah.
Or
How long was your afternoon nap? It
was like an hour.
An hour?
It wasn't
okay.
much, but it made me late.
But you conked out.
Yeah, it made me late to your party. That's okay. This is from the other Chris, who's the new donor. He said, hi, Frank and Dan. I'm listening to your podcast, Can of Worms. That was 2 shows ago?
I think so, something like that.
And just heard the segment on communion and infectious diseases. I wonder if you're aware of the church's accommodations for members with celiac disease. Answer, they don't really have one.
Rude.
Everybody has to eat the wheat crackers. I guess celiac disease counts as genetic excommunication.
Wow.
Cute. Caveat, they do allow wine-only communion, but the use of a shared cup may result in gluten contamination from other parishioners' lips.
My God.
So, yeah, if you have celiac, that's God telling you, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Or it's God saying, I'm going to kill you slowly using my own flesh and blood. Because that's what that is.
Drink, eat me.
Yeah, exactly. Do we have any more voicemails, or
we
should
do
I
have
go on?
more voicemails?
Yeah, do another voicemail.
Here is a response to the audio that we played last week.
Oh yeah.
Hi Frank. Hi Dan. Jim from Washington. Just listened to Pat Robertson's comments about tax breaks or handouts or not handouts, but I think he missed the important part of the equation. If you're not paying taxes and you're receiving the services the government provides without paying for them, that is the handout, Pat. You ignorant old fuck. Thank you.
Well said. Let's just move on.
Indeed. We agree. Strange that in our state last week we didn't make all of those salient points that we probably should have.
And call him an ignorant fuck. Somehow we missed everything.
Right. You'd think that much we could get done.
All right. And then this is actually someone calling in about some stuff that happened on the Facebook page, our Facebook page.
Correct.
Hi. I saw your post about circumcision on the Facebook page and made the mistake of responding that it's an okay thing to do or not to do. I'd forgotten what a contentious topic it can be. In a matter of hours, I'd received quite a few serious threats, insults, and attacks, including people saying I should have my own meat bits cut off. I'm not uneducated or lazy or dealing with doctors in the pockets of pharmaceutical companies, and it's disingenuous, although certainly dramatic, to equate male and female circumcision. I guess my point is that as parents, we make decisions for our kids all the time. To the people who think circumcision is child abuse, I'm sorry you feel that way. We do the best we can with the best science available. I've also been told I don't love my kids if I feed them non-organic vegetables, and that I'm causing my kids mental anguish by making them sit in a 5-point harness car seat past the age of 4. I'm sure there are listeners who've been told they're abusing their own children by not raising them to follow God. Do they really want to be on the other side of that, being horrible to someone who just said it's okay to make your own decision based on science and personal experience? So I'd say, congrats on the baby. Have an open mind. Talk to doctors. If you decide to circumcise, make sure you have a very experienced doctor, one who uses anesthetics. Just don't take abuse either way. Thanks for listening. I love you guys.
Well, thank you for that. What a thoughtful, meaning thought out voicemail.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to say, if you're on our page, it's not a good place for trolling.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys if you troll our page.
Yeah, no
you know what I
kidding.
mean? Like, we're all a community here, and we're here to support each other. And if we have differing opinions, fantastic. There's never a problem with that. But our page is not a place for abuse. It is not a place for. It is a place for well-reasoned arguments. It is a place for opinion if you want to put opinion there, but know that it's just your opinion. And don't. You know what? If things get bad, we will start kicking people off the page. That's true. We may have to do that.
Yeah.
On the topic of circumcision, though, I wanted to say, I posted one small thing on that thread before it got really out of control that just said that my position is I am against circumcision. And you, what was it? You and I started to have a discussion. Do you want to talk about circumcision a little bit? Just briefly.
I guess I have no strong feelings either way concerning male circumcision. I think that personally I would not choose to have a male child circumcised. But again, I don't feel harmed for my circumcision.
Right.
And so I don't know. Like I really have a hard time. I'm familiar enough with the arguments on both sides of it. I just don't have any really strong feelings.
And
because I don't have any strong feelings, I think you just go with the status quo, which is kid has foreskin.
Yeah, I think
So,
your kid's intact as it is.
This is how he came. I don't have any feelings either way. Keep it.
Leave him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I do have pretty strong feelings about it. I do feel that circumcision is, I think, morally questionable. I think if we didn't have a tradition of doing it in this country, in this society, and if there weren't religious sort of traditions backing it up, I think people would find it horrific. If someone just came to us and there was no tradition of circumcision ever, and someone said, "Hey, I've got an idea, let's do this," I think we would all be horrified. I think I think if we didn't understand it already as being normal, it would be
at some point it came around and was new.
Yeah,
so
but that was back. I mean, that was back in Abraham's time.
The West wasn't. You go to Europe. Men aren't circumcised at the same rate that they are in the United States.
No, I mean, it was largely, the tradition was carried on by the Jews since Abraham.
Right.
But that
doesn't explain why a largely Christian nation, a Christian largely made up of Christian people,
right? Yeah,
goes about circumcising the vast majority of their young men.
No, but that's neither here nor there to my argument, which is just that if you look at it objectively, without
you were saying that if it came along and was brand new, we would all be horrified. Well, I'm saying it was brand new to American parents at one point, but a generation of doctors argued for it, and therefore...
But it still existed out there. I'm saying if it had never existed and modern society, someone suggested this, I maintain we would all be horrified by it. And I maintain that we should all be horrified by it. Because when it comes right down to it, at its very base, on the face of it, it is a mutilation of a child, and a child that does not need to be mutilated for any reason. And I don't actually believe, I agree with our caller, that it is disingenuous to compare it to female circumcision. The way that it's done is horrific. I mean, generally, female circumcision is done in Africa, in countries in Africa, and it's done in a horrific way, and it's done with razor blades, and it's done when they're older, when the girls are older, so they have memories of it that are much worse, and all that sort of thing. But in the end, it is mutilation of a child's genitals, and I don't think that's an entirely disingenuous comparison.
Right, but it is. I mean, it is different. I mean,
it is totally different in how it's performed. I'm saying the thing itself.
Well, but it leaves the woman usually completely incapable of enjoying sex, and that's part of the point. Besides exerting control and power over that woman, it destroys her ability to,
Well, it's the removal of her clitoris.
Yeah.
So the thing that feels the most amount of, it has the most nerve endings, etc.
Yeah.
It doesn't destroy her ability to enjoy sex.
Well,
I think that's an extreme position. I mean, she still has a vagina. She's still,
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So
right.
Anyway, we don't know enough about this to really get. We shouldn't get too deep into the specifics of it because we're not doctors and we're not
Right.
sex experts or sexperts. But there you go. Anyway, those are just a few thoughts and feelings. Thanks for chiming in, though. What was her name? Did she say her name?
The name was, I don't remember.
Caller. Thanks for chiming in, caller. We really appreciate it. Amy wrote into us, "Hi, Frank and Dan. I'm currently listening to the most recent podcast, and you just read an email from Janie about being sworn in for court and having to say under God. To remind our listeners, she hadn't had to do that. She was concerned that she would have to do that.
Okay.
After our article or our story about the airman who was trying to get sworn back into the U.S. Air Force without saying under God without saying so help me God in the in his vow oath. That's the one. I don't know the actual law, says Amy, but I did serve on a jury this past winter in California, and when they swore in any witnesses, it was up to the witness to say so help me God. There were a few that said it and a few that didn't. There also wasn't any Bible or book for the witness to set their hand over. The witnesses were just asked to raise their right hand and repeat the oath. Just thought she would share her experience with the topic. Thank you for that, Amy. Did you have any other?
No, that's it.
Okay.
I got them all played.
So again, thanks again to Chris and to Megan. Chris is now a monthly subscriber to the podcast. Megan has contributed a one-time donation.
Well, thank you very much,
We
guys.
really appreciate both of that. If you guys want to contribute to our efforts here, please go to our webpage, thankgodimatheist.com, and click on the support tab.
Indeed. All right, well, let's move on to what we want to talk about today. The whole
us.
Yeah, why?
It's what we want to talk about every day. Us.
Why? Why do we do it, Dan?
Yes, it's true. We're not making money at this.
Nope.
Despite asking for donations, so far we have not even paid ourselves a single penny.
No.
For this. So why do we get on the horn weekly and sit in front of these microphones and put stuff together?
Oh, I don't know.
And there you have it. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Well, I mean, why early on? Because I think it's different now than it was when we first started.
Absolutely. So I started the blog, the Thank God I'm Atheist blog, many years ago. Just with the idea that I had a lot of, I just wanted a voice in the community. I wanted to share my thoughts about it. I thought I could be humorous, and I thought that it was something, I saw how prevalent religion was in my country and in my community, and I wanted to offer an alternate voice to that. So that's why I started it. I was not well versed in the atheist community at that time. If I knew big names like Dawkins and Hitchens, but if you had asked me about, some of the people who are now considered I would say, luminaries in our movement. I wouldn't necessarily have known who they were.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to. It was just something that I wanted to start up, and then you and I started to do this podcast. Like, I had wanted to do a podcast for a while, and we even made an attempt at one point, and it kind of fizzled.
Yeah.
I don't know. What were you thinking when we started this thing? We're both media people.
Yeah. Well, for me, there was a certain appeal to, and to be completely honest, there was a technical appeal. I wanted to get into a recording studio and work on certain recording skills.
Sure.
And so there was an appeal. I didn't know if we would, last. I didn't know how long we would last at doing it. I honestly didn't think we would make a year.
Right.
I really didn't. I figured we would probably go at it for 6 months or so and then, just be like, oh, well, whatever. Right. I mean, that was a big part of it for me, but there was also, clearly I've been atheist for a long time and I have things to say on the topic and I do remember having a strong connection with the idea of trying to present something that was an alternative to the angry atheist. Trying to just have fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we would have been able to completely even articulate it back then.
No.
That it was, that it was this angry atheist thing that we were trying to do something different then. But I know I just wanted to be fun and be atheist and be light and just have a good time with it.
Yeah. And what ended up happening as we launched into this was that, people started listening, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we started hearing from you guys, and there was this whole sense of like community, and people started like really connecting to what we were doing, and we felt connected to you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's kind of been a driving force for me now, is that I feel like I'm part of this amazing sort of back and forth with my countrymen and people outside of our country too, like hearing from people in Sweden and Australia and
fun.
Germany and
it's nice.
Panama and stuff. It all sort of blends together into this amazing connective thing that we have with you guys.
Yeah.
And I feel like, it's connected me also it keeps in my mind the issues that are because now I suddenly realize that there's this quiet issue that's facing our country, that's facing our societies right now, and that is the thing of religion, where we don't hear that much about. We hear, I mean, if you watch Fox News, you hear about it all the time. I mean, it's now become this thing of like atheists are the big enemies and blah blah blah.
Right.
But it's becoming clear that we need to have our voices out there.
Oh, absolutely.
That there is a war on Christmas happening, but it's a war. But Christmas launched fired the first shots, and we need to be ready. We need to be vocal.
Yeah.
It is time.
Yeah.
For the atheist, not revolution, but the atheist.
It's a moment for an atheist movement,
an atheist civil rights / call to reason.
It doesn't feel like a civil rights type thing to me. I don't feel deprived of rights that we need to fight for.
Yeah, but you don't live in the South.
That's why it's a social movement. It's not that I don't feel like, what laws do we need to specifically change? We need to enforce the laws that are on the books.
Right.
And if there is some locality that has, some screwy law, well, we fix that. But it's not our nation that needs fixing.
Well,
it's
then,
the society that needs fixing.
Well, but what I'm saying is that right now the pendulum is swinging so far that a lot of mostly conservative politicians are running on a ticket of, let's get God back into the schools, let's get God back into government, let's get God everywhere. So in that sense, I feel like there is a
political movement.
There is a rights movement. You know, there are people being denied entrance into. If Muslims aren't going to be allowed into a gun club, today, you can bet atheists aren't far behind. And the other thing is that we need to be fighting for the rights of the Muslims as much as we are for ourselves. So that's the civil rights context. The civil rights thing is about making sure that our rights are protected. But I think you're right. The more important thing is this beautiful atheist call to reason, this social movement where we're asking society, hey, we need to be looking to science, and we need to be looking to reason, and we need to stop looking to supernatural help, because even if God exists, we need to be fending for ourselves down here. So I think that's kind of where we want to lend our voices to that movement, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. And having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why we need to do another meetup. Is what we need to do.
We do need to do another meetup.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, having fun, connecting with you people, it makes it so worthwhile for us. Mm-hmm. And eventually, we do hope to get paid for this.
It would be nice.
Eventually, if you guys feel like this is something that's worthwhile, a contribution is certainly
a contribution
helpful.
Is great. But if you have any ideas, like as far as like how we can actually make money,
launch this and take this to another level.
Yeah,
that would be nice too.
Like if I don't know, somebody knows someone.
That's true. The reason that now, mind you, we're not just sort of begging for a handout. What we would like to be able to do is to make this a primary source of income, so that we can devote more time, devote more effort, and create some videos, do things like travel again, because I think that was a really cool thing to do. Mm-hmm. We want to do all of that stuff. So. We can't do it just on our own. We do need help with that. But hopefully, I really, whether you guys contribute or not, hopefully we're providing a service.
Well, I think so.
I mean, we want to keep you guys informed. I know that we know that a lot of you guys don't have time to scour the internet for these stories that we scour the internet for.
Yeah.
So let that be our job. Hopefully we entertain you along the way, and then you're informed.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Did we actually say anything?
I think we said plenty.
We said a few things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for participating in this experiment with us. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate that. If you want to participate even deeper, you can join the conversation by writing to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you could leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
Right. Or you can go onto the Facebook page run by that lovely Mackenzie lady. She does a fantastic job. That's facebook.com/TGIA Atheist.
And, of course, thank you to the Red Rock Hot Club for letting us use their music. All right.
Well, y'all have a great week, won't you?
Bye-bye.